Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of motherhood vlogs, lifestyle videos. I do a little bit about personal finance, kind of all mixed into that, and talk about our journey with debt, living on one income, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe. Today is going to be a Q&A with questions from you guys. Actually, I will occasionally put on the community tab or in like my pinned comments when I have a Q&A coming up. And since I've been a little bit more MIA lately, I used to be much more strict with my filming and editing schedule, but as you guys know, since I've had 2 kids, my world has been rocked. I try to still keep up with stuff as much as I can. I've been putting little shorts videos up over here as well, so you can at least kind of stay up to date on what's going on. But there's been a lot happening. I probably should have ordered these better, but there's some questions about motherhood, me type questions, moving questions, anxiety medication questions, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, let's get going. I'll just start at the top. But I have, okay, question. I know you were worried that Ivy would maybe feel neglected and be jealous of Poppy once she was born. How has that been so far? So if you guys are new and you're listening to this Q&A, thanks for joining me. Most of you probably have been here for a while, but Ivy is my 2.5-year-old and Poppy is my 5-month-old. I was a little bit nervous going into having a second baby because of how that would affect Ivy. I didn't want it to affect her personality, our relationship, any of that. To be honest, having a second kid did kind of rock her world and our world. She has never been jealous of Poppy, like, or toward Poppy, thankfully, so far. I mean, they're young, so I'm sure they'll fight at some point. Right now, she's just like obsessed with Poppy and wants to help with her and play with her and talk to her, and they just like love each other so much. Like, Poppy just lights up whenever she hears Ivy as well. It's definitely affected Ivy in other ways. So she's had more like big feelings, temper tantrums. She gets a little bit irritated if I am like feeding Poppy and she wants me for something. She doesn't like that she doesn't get like immediate reactions from us all the time. It was a little bit easier like directly postpartum because Ben was home. Well, he's always home. He works upstairs, but like he was not working. So he was with Ivy all the time and I was with Poppy all the time. And it was definitely like when he went back to work, that like month was hard because she wasn't getting that one-on-one as much. I do feel like it started to kind of like even out now. So she's back to like her normal personality versus like quite a bit of tantruming. But like I said, she never really took it out on Poppy. It didn't affect anything else. It was just her. And she's also 2.5, so she's going through like crazy just like leaps and stuff in her own brain and body right now, and she's gotten sick and things like that. So it hasn't been terrible in the sense that she hasn't like hated Poppy, hurt Poppy, but she's definitely like, our relationship changed for a little while. I feel like it's kind of getting back to normal, but it was just hard like when I'm not sleeping with a baby and having a little infant that constantly wants to be attached to me, and then having like a whiny, sassy toddler. It's like hard not to get irritated with her. So I've just been like doing the best that I can. Some weeks that means more screen time, trying to get outside more, doing things with her more when I can get Poppy to go down, or like yeah, try to interact with her more. Poppy is very much a Velcro baby, which I didn't fully know what it was until I had a Velcro baby, but she like legitimately does not like it when I put her down ever. It's rocked my world for sure, but I love them both. They're both doing really well. Ivy's doing really well, and I feel like her personality is coming back. Before it was like, I don't know, I would say like 60-40 of like cranky Ivy versus happy Ivy, and I feel like now it's kind of gone back to, I don't know, 70-30, where she's happier most of the time. She's still a toddler, you know. Can you share what your kids' names would have been if either was a boy? I can link the video that we did a while ago that was all of our favorite like girl and boy names. With Ivy, if she would have been a boy, we would have named the baby Leo. That's just always a name that I've really loved. Leo Benjamin. My husband's name is Benjamin. Moving on to baby 2, I think initially we were also thinking Leo, and then I put up that video actually of like all of our favorite names, and one of the names in there, after I said it a couple times, I was like, wait, I like that a lot. And we talked about it, and if we changed our name basically. So if Poppy would have been a boy, we actually really liked the name Quentin. Yeah, those are the 2 names that we would have for sure used if it was a boy, Leo or Quentin. Do you think you're done having babies, and are you excited or sad about that decision? You know, I thought that I was gonna have like this big explosive moment of like, I am done with kids. And I didn't, so I'm confused by that. If you would have asked me when I was pregnant, I would say I'm not having another kid. I have to have a medical procedure done that could affect my cervix, which could affect if I wanted to have kids in the future. So there's a chance that I won't be able to have kids, although a very low chance. I'm also 37, so like, and because I had a C-section, I can't get pregnant for at least a year, and I would need to have a 3rd C-section. And you guys know pregnancy is really hard on me. Having 3 C-sections just seems like a lot. I know that people do that all the time, but that's just like a lot of surgery. Postpartum is really hard for me, both physically and mentally. And for like a long time now, I have not had my body because I've been trying to get pregnant, or postpartum, and I'm kind of over that. But if I could just have the baby and like skip all of the hard part, I would 100% take a 3rd, and I would be happy with a girl. Honestly, I love having all girls. We would also love to have a boy, but I'm not really fully answering that. I would say that we're like 90% sure that we would not have another baby, but for some reason I just like can't fully close that door. Although I could not imagine a 3rd. And financially, I think that it would be irresponsible to have a 3rd unless our financial situation changes, whether that is I start making money on social media or with freelance stuff again, or we move and have like a much lower cost of living. I don't know that it would be the smartest financial decision to make to have a 3rd kid at this time, at least. Who knows though? I mean, 37 feels old. I'm considered a geriatric pregnancy, but at the same time, plenty of people have babies into their 40s, so, but I don't think so. Health related, how's life been without tomatoes? So I think in one of my previous vlogs I mentioned that tomatoes flagged pretty high as an allergy for me, which I thought was weird. My naturopath wasn't worried about it. She said that unless I was having like physical allergic like allergy symptoms, that it probably wasn't something that I needed to cut out. I still wanted to cut it out though because I eat like a ton of tomatoes, so I wanted to like see if I noticed a difference. I'll be honest, I haven't really noticed a difference. I'm still having my stomach issues that I have pop up. The skin issues that I have haven't really cleared up that much, so it definitely hasn't affected any of the big symptoms that I've had. I wonder if I like added tomatoes back in at like full throttle, if I would notice a difference. So I might do that and just see, like maybe it's causing like postnasal drip or anything like that, but I haven't noticed something big enough. So I haven't noticed like a huge difference. Probably not something that I'll cut out forever for sure. We'll try it so that the lighting's a little bit better. Okay, how's anxiety medication going? It's going great. I still am so grateful that I started it. If you guys are new here, I can link a video or something about my anxiety medication and how many of you guys recommended that I go on anxiety medication, and I'm glad that I did. This pregnancy and postpartum was much different. I didn't have like big OCD. I didn't have as many like intrusive thoughts. I didn't have as many panic attacks, any of that stuff. So it was huge postpartum, huge in pregnancy, and even during my birth, to be honest. It's still amazing, and I have no intention of going off of it anytime soon. I will say I've had a couple of instances of more anxiety coming up now that I've had like a couple of health things pop up and I have to have like a pretty serious procedure done and just a bunch of random stuff going on, and we're like thinking about moving and all this jazz. My anxiety is definitely heightened. The medication is keeping me level, but there's still other things I need to work on. I need to work through some of these like health traumas that I have, and how, you know, whenever something with my health comes up, I just like catastrophize it very quickly. And I'm also like extremely sleep deprived. Poppy slept for like 4 hours straight last night, which was the first time she's done that probably ever, and most nights I'm up like every hour, so my sleep has been off, so it's hard to like judge. But I still am grateful that I went on anxiety medication. It has changed my life. It has given me my life back, and I'm really grateful for it. Are you considering doing traditional braces, or have you thought about Invisalign? I had to have some like deep cleanings done on my mouth, which was extremely painful. I don't have like the best teeth, and my teeth aren't straight. I've never had braces, not my best quality. I've known for a long time that I needed braces. I needed braces when I was young, but my parents couldn't afford it. I am thinking more along the Invisalign route, just because I think I don't really want like actual braces as somebody in my late 30s. I will also say that I get canker sores fairly easily if my mouth gets like, if I bite my mouth or I cut something. So traditional braces can definitely do that a little bit more. So I've been looking more into Invisalign. It's expensive though, like over 3 grand, almost 4 grand without insurance. It's not gonna be something that we do right now, and it'll probably be something that I have to do like payments. Poppy is waking up, so I might have to pause this and restart. But with that, with the dental stuff, I'm supposed to get like a crown. I'm supposed to get a new filling done, just like all of this dental stuff. I just had to pay $200 for the cleanings for the part that insurance didn't cover. The dental stuff is just like not my fave. It hurts. I don't want to do all that stuff, but I might have to. You know what? Maybe I'll just update you guys about my health in here quickly too, because I just updated you on the dental stuff, so I don't know why I'm gonna make a whole other video about it. I've had abnormal paps for years and years, and it's differed in severity, but it's never been like that big of a deal. Like they just continued to watch it. Last year I had this whole big thing that happened right before I got pregnant, where this doctor basically told me that she thought I had the beginning of cervical cancer, and it was like a huge anxiety trigger for me. I was in a really bad spot about it, and then it ended up being nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, this year it has heightened, so it is now considered like a moderate mid-level. So at this level, they do recommend you do a LEEP procedure. I don't fully know what that is, so I can like put it on the screen. What my doctor has explained to me is that they take like a laser and take off the infected part of your cervix. It can affect pregnancies in the future because it could shorten your cervix. It could make it weaker so that you miscarry. But there's also people that get this procedure and don't have any issues. I, for the most part, believe that I'm done having kids, so that's not a big deal. There's some people that will try to get rid of it naturally, but because I've had this now for so many years, and now it's finally like moved up a level, my doctor said I could definitely try to do things naturally and she would be okay with it. But for me, it's very triggering health-wise every single year to get a pap, and every single year to have to get a colposcopy because my pap is never normal and they're painful and I don't enjoy it. I've had some like weird symptoms from it afterwards. It ends up being not cervical cancer, which is great, but it's just something that's like in the back of my mind all the time. And with a LEEP, for the most part, they can take it out and then it's gone, and you shouldn't have like abnormal paps again. Now you might eventually, and there's probably still stuff that I need to do naturally to like boost my immune system so this virus doesn't continue to like make something happen again. But for the most part, a LEEP is a one-time procedure that I shouldn't have to worry about for a long time. And the idea of not having to think about a colposcopy and a pap, or well, a pap you do, but like a colposcopy every year just seems great to me. Plus I really trust my doctor. We're planning to move back to Raleigh. I would prefer my doctor here do it because I loved her. My OBGYN. I'm planning to get one at the end of August unless something changes. It's a few hours later. We're gonna see if we can finish up this. Do you think? She slept for a little bit and then she ended up contact napping on me for an hour and a half. She being Poppy. If you hear her kicking stuff, that's what's happening there. As far as health, how's Ben's health? Yeah, I'm not gonna give any background on it just because it's that'll take up the whole video, but his health is doing a lot better. He currently is sick. Ivy got him sick. I think they both got like a form of hand, foot, mouth basically. So he's currently not feeling great, but mentally, physically, he's doing much better than he was even 3 months ago, which is why moving to Raleigh this year is more of a possibility. He's doing really well. Thanks for asking. Do you have any reality TV guilty pleasures? I'm actually not a big TV girly, especially reality TV. I do like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I have enjoyed that. And you can catch me watching a lot of like reality housing shows. Like, I don't really love Selling Sunset anymore just because I think it's like the same drama, different day. But I used to really like Selling Sunset. So anything similar to that. How do you and Ben balance financial security and the mental stability that can bring versus moving forward in life? Like having kids, purchasing a home. I love this question. Ben and I for the longest time have been extreme dreamers, but we kind of got knocked down by the realities of our life between businesses not working out for Ben and big health drama coming up and going into a lot of debt outside of student loans, the pandemic, just like relationship issues, all that stuff. Definitely kind of just like, well, I'm running out of space. Yeah, I feel like Ben and I have also been like commitment phobic with like where we're gonna live, what we're gonna do with our lives, all that stuff. But having kids really like kind of settles you down a little bit, and we've really been craving stability. And I think this is the first time in a really long time that we've wanted to purchase a home, like truly. I think we've like talked about it before, but we haven't actually wanted to do it. Whereas now we do, but we're looking at like the longevity of a home and what we want in that. Like Ben really wants a yard. Possibly someday we would love to have like some like farm animals, like small farm animals. He really wants to grow a lot of our own food. I really want to be the type of house where my kids want to be there and they want their friends to come over, and I want it to be an inviting house. So we're finally able to like picture that part of our life. When it comes to having kids, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think Ben and I thought about the financial part of having kids, and I'm not saying that that's intelligent because it's not, but it just kind of naturally happened when we got to a better place financially because our relationship was stronger. It felt like our foundation felt stronger in general. If you didn't know, I got pregnant once in Raleigh and miscarried when Ben still didn't have a job, anything like that. And then that kind of pushed him to find a regular job and like kind of not just give up on the business that just hadn't been working. And he had been trying to get it to work, but it just wasn't. And so I feel like kids almost made us more intelligent with money, if that makes sense. Knowing that we wanted to have them, we just like naturally started being better with money and saving money and making sure we had a savings, and you know, wanted to have a job that had insurance. I don't know if that makes sense. Did I answer your question? So I will say it's hard after being in a lot of debt to like, and we're still in a good chunk of debt, but it's hard when you're living paycheck to paycheck and all that stuff to not want to just keep saving your money, which is a big reason why we want to move, because we're just like burning money renting here in Illinois because it's just so expensive to rent, and we just could never buy here, not the type of property that we would like. So it just feels like staying here is just financially irresponsible, especially with a family. But there are things that we do want to do. We are still dreamers. I love traveling. I want to travel, even if it's just like in the US around where we live. I want to do that. I want my kids to have that experience. I didn't get that very much growing up. So I want it for myself, but I want it for them. And, you know, like I was talking about before, Ben really wants to just live more off the land and sustainably, not like, we'll never be like that type of family that's like fully like that, because that's just not the way that I want to live my life or raise my children. But we would like to just have a little bit more of that. So I think that's kind of why this Raleigh move is in our head, because we can see long term, even if it's short term leading into long term, where those things can actually happen for us. Whereas here, that doesn't feel like that. We don't feel like we would have the opportunity financially, or I would need to go back to work, which kind of isn't what we want. We want me to stay home, especially in these early years of the kids' lives. So did that answer your question? I feel like we try to be as financially intelligent as possible and think about things like, where are we going to live? Where are the expenses that we can fix? While also thinking about the things that we really still want to do with our lives, and like not giving up on that dream, if that makes sense. Okay, the rest are all moving updates. So if you guys have made it this far and don't know, we are planning to move back to Raleigh. The question is when. I'm from Wisconsin, Ben is from here in Illinois. We moved to Raleigh for like almost 4 years, like 3 years, and then we moved back after we had Ivy, because we felt like we needed the community and family here. I could do a whole video on this. I don't think that we got exactly what we hoped for moving back, but in some ways we did. Like we've grown really close to Ben's sister, and then Ben's brother and like Ben's sister and then Ben's brother and her wife. Ben's sister and Ben's brother and his wife. We're obviously like still close with the rest of Ben's family, but we just never, like, we thought we would have more interactions with his cousins who have kids, and we haven't even seen them, most of them, at all since we've moved back. We've barely seen my family. We haven't really made any friends, which is on us, but we just haven't gotten what we thought we would get moving back here. And to be spending as much as we are on rent and food and cost of living and all that stuff, to not be able to purchase anytime soon, to have to drain our savings, or for me to have to go back to work just so we can stay here, there's really no appeal to that. Whereas there is some place that does appeal to us, that just happens to be a lower cost of living. Now, if we loved living here, we loved Illinois, we loved where we lived, you know, me going back to work or finding, I don't know, doing anything we could to stay here would make sense, but it just hasn't been that for us, unfortunately. Now, that's not saying that we're not like devastated to be leaving people, because we are, and that's definitely the hardest part. But we have to choose what is best for us and our kids for the long run. And anyway, that seems like moving back to Raleigh. Now, the problem is, do we move now, aka when our lease is up in September, or our landlord said he would let us out in like May or June next year? So we're trying to decide which option. By the time this video is up, we may have decided, or will be deciding soon. We need to decide in the next like week. The decision, the full decision, is we are moving back to Raleigh, which is crazy to say. The second part of that is we don't know when yet, but we will know in the next like 2 weeks, in the next week really. Ben is actually going out to North Carolina soon. So we need to decide by then, or by the time he comes back. Oh, I missed one. Any July goals just for you? I feel like I haven't really been making goals lately, because they've been hard to stick to, with just like having inconsistent help, having inconsistent time in order to be with the girls, like inconsistent sleep. So right now my July goals are really just like paying more attention to what I'm eating, because I do want to lose weight. That is like my biggest goal, is to lose weight. Right now I don't have the energy most days to work out. That isn't a goal of mine, but I would love to get back into it. Another goal is just trying to get like ready as much as possible on the days that I can, because it just makes me feel a little bit better. I'm much more apt to film something, just feel better about myself when I'm doing that. So I think I don't have any like set goals, but I'm just like trying to take better care of myself physically and mentally, while most of my self is having to be put into other people, into a baby who uses me for sleep and feeding, into a toddler who needs me for everything, into a husband that needs me sometimes, although he's, you know, he's great on his own, dogs, all that stuff. I just feel like I can be the back burner, but that doesn't mean that I can't, or that I need to be completely alone, or I need to be completely ignored, I guess. So just focusing on what I'm eating, thinking about things like, how does this make me feel? Does this gigantic bowl of ice cream actually make me feel good? Do I really need to have that many coffees? You know, just that type of stuff. So no specific goals. Now back to moving, because I forgot about that question. But how much is rent, utilities, and other costs of living changes in North Carolina? I think I showed in one of my previous budgeting videos kind of a look at what that looked like, as far as what our budget could look like in North Carolina. So I can link that if you want to see like it's not in depth, but I showed like a little bit of a fake budget. For the most part, we're looking to rent a home for about $2,000, no more than $2,200 probably there, for a house that's either this size or bigger, possibly newer. And in areas that we want to be in. So that's the only thing, is the one area that we love the most is definitely the highest priced. So but still, high price is nothing compared to the, you know, $2,700 that we pay here. I would say utilities are comparable, especially since if you didn't watch my last budgeting video, we didn't realize we weren't paying water here, and that our landlord never fully transferred that to us. So I thought we were paying like $200 a month in utilities, or a little bit less, but we actually have been paying closer to like $250 to $300, or should have been, and will be if we stay here. So he did take care of the bill for us for the last few months that he like messed that up, but if we stay here we will have to take that on, which ups our rent even more. So I would say with utilities, we pay, just for ease of numbers, we pay $3 grand for this place, for a 15 square foot split level home with a fenced in backyard. We're like kind of in the Schaumburg area of Illinois, in Raleigh. And when I say Raleigh, I'm talking outskirts. We don't want to live in the city of Raleigh. We want to live in like the northern suburbs, like Wake Forest, Lewisburg, Franklinton, I don't remember what else are up there. Or there's like Zebulon, Wendell, which is like the southeast part of it as well. We would prefer north, but those are the areas that we're looking at. So we're not technically in Raleigh. I would say like about a half hour out of Raleigh would be the most that we would want to be. And I would assume we'll be paying about $500 a month less, probably, total. So maybe we'll be $2,200 for rent, $300 for utilities. Now I will say, I think that food, things like that, are like slightly comparable. I think that the tax here in Cook County is higher. As far as purchasing though, that's kind of, obviously the rent, there's a big discrepancy. There's almost like $1,000 difference. But with purchasing, property tax in Illinois is insane, and it's like a whole other rent payment on top of rent, or a whole other mortgage payment on top of rent. And there's just like no way we could get the type of house that we want to. Whereas we could get the type of house that we want now with like a $300 to $350 budget, but we don't want to. We would have to deplete our savings in order to do a down payment. So I think we're gonna wait a few more years, because if we rent there, we'll be saving so much money that we can up our savings again. She is going inside. What are you doing? Do you see yourself? Can we answer one more question? Answer one more question. Are you happy with your decision to pay off some debt, or with considering moving to Raleigh, do you wish we had more savings? So that I kind of answered that in the last one. We're totally happy we paid off more debt. That was a necessary decision because it cut our monthly payment of debt from $1,000 a month to $600 a month, so almost in half. And we needed that monthly money back after I lost my freelancing job. Obviously, it would have been nice to still have, you know, over 30 grand in savings so we could put some of that toward a down payment, but we decided that our monthly payment was more important right now. And I think that I know that that was the right decision. It's a little sad that we have to like put off buying a house, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. We aren't in a place right now with 2 little kids. This way, renting, like if the pipe bursts, the landlord has to take care of it. We don't have to do that. Does it push back some of the things that we want to do, like having a really nice garden, buying furniture and decor that specifically fit that house? Yes, it's okay. So hopefully that answered all your questions. Hopefully I can even use this last clip with how psychotic and Poppy is being. But I have to go pick up Ivy in about an hour. So I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to feed this one and I don't know, see if she'll let me put her down. Probably not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any additional questions down below and I'll see you in the next video.